Good morning, everyone. Sunday, January 20th, 2019, 11 below. Now, is that a heat wave from yesterday's 13 below? No way. We got a win today. Brutal. Speechless. I'm still chilled to the bone from running my dogs earlier. Okay, people. Let's just, hey, a little political news. Just a little political thought for you. Our president is working to make America secure. And the question I want to ask you is, how can a nation ever become secure when it's run by a cabal of criminals, evil bastards that have the whole world as a massive plantation, a monetary system that enriches relatively very few and impoverishes all the rest of us? Worse than just that impoverishing, worse than just stealing our goods and services with what they effortlessly create, they kill us every day. They're killing us every day. They are culling the herd of the non-productive, the useless eaters. Just had to throw that out there. And before we get back into I Bet You Thought by the New York Federal Reserve, the Big Daddy. You know, through the years, I've noticed there's several ways you can try to teach and approach people and give them a new thought, a new truth as you perceive it. In my early days, I used to go, wow, man, look what I discovered, and I would almost try to ram it down their throat. People don't like that. They get very defensive. Their defense mechanisms go into full gear. They can't hear you. They're busy formulating rebuttal, or they just say you're full of BS. So there are better ways to teach, and just let me give you two small examples here. Walk into a merchant, a convenience store, buy a 50-cent item. Give them the $5, the $5 bill. They're going to give you 4 ones and 2 copper nickel slugs as your change. And you simply just say, what a deal this is. I give you 1 piece of paper with a dead president on it. You give me 4 back and 2 coins. Just 1. Just keep that in mind. Work something on that order. Much more, or it doesn't lack the offense of trying to ram it down their throat. Another one that's kind of my favorite, because I like to dabble in what they call quote-unquote junk silver. That's the U.S. coinage pre-1965 that had a 97% silver content compared to these modern copper nickel slugs we're stuck with today that have a 97% loss to them. Walk into a coin store, talk to the man or the woman behind the counter and say, I got to ask you a question. Are you really selling coins or are you buying paper? Because people, they're the ones that have the commodity money this country and every other country at one time used to use. Okay, let's get over here to just a little rant there. Page 13, I Bet You Thought, the Big Daddy, New York Federal Reserve Bank. Top of the page, bold black letters. Credit cards are a new form of money. I've looked at that several times. I'll tell you why. Listen to the very next verse. Credit cards aren't a form of money, comma. They're side by side. That's the bold heading. The very next line, smaller, non-bold type. Credit cards aren't a form of money, but a quote-unquote deferred payment, unquote, device, a means of obtaining goods and services by promising to pay later. Buy now, pay never. So, what do you think American Express, Capital One, Bank of America sends these merchants later to pay for the goods or services you stole today? They work in the same monetary system we do, folks. A system works us only over with credit. Is debt monetized? Is the money? Absolute fantasy. Buy now, pay never. One of the means commercial banks use to create money is the promissory note. They don't take depositors' funds and lend them out at interest. Look, if the principal is nonsense, the interest on the principal is equally nonsense. Interest is a deceptive device to get you to think that's how banks make money. You don't make money, people, when you can create money. Don't fight wars for profit when you can create money. Okay, where was I at here? Street slang. You can't pay a debt with a debt or a promise to pay a debt. If you could, who would work? We'd all sit around and write promises. Now, What I owe is an obligation. Debt is that psychological transformation that goes on in the person's mind when you take a 97% loss, monetize it in your mind, and then tell people, yeah, I got a good paying job, it pays well. And then you go once a year on April Fool's Day, the 15th of April. Oh yeah, they did move it from the 1st. That's where you get your federal trick without a treat. People declare a 97% loss income on a 1040, and you don't think we're in serious trouble here, folks? Okay, where am I going with that? Do you remember the lemon example yesterday? Remember the one piece of paper that had 20 written all over it? $20? You know, I think some of this is tied to memories. Years ago, you used to be able to take that gold or silver coin, you used to put it on deposit in the bank, and they'd issue a warehouse receipt. They'd give you a Federal Reserve note that bore a promise to pay the money upon your asking for it. It was a contract concealed in plain view, and we'll get through that in the next video, or in a later video. All right. So, you deposit this gold and silver coin, you get the receipt. You know, I need to get out more, but not too many years ago, there was a mine at Eagles Club, and when you walked in there on a day like 11 below with a wind, and you had your heavy, bulky coat, the very first room you'd come to was a coat room. And there'd be a person behind that counter, and they would happily check your coat, and they'd give you a little receipt for the thing, and then you could go dine, dance, drink, and when you're ready to leave, you'd come back, present that little receipt, they'd find your coat on the numbered clothes hanger it was hanging on, and give it to you, and they usually tipped them, put on your coat, and went outside. You never took that receipt outside and left your coat with this stupid concept in your mind that, well, the receipt's just as good as the coat because I can redeem the coat anytime I want. You wouldn't be that stupid, especially 11 below with the wind. But didn't we do that with the money, people? We put our gold and silver coin in the bank, they gave us the receipt, and we never went back to reclaim them. Why? Well, the Federal Reserve note was just as good as a coin. Besides, it didn't wear holes in your pocket. It folds real nice. They are very clever. Our masters are brutally evil, but they are very clever. I want to get to one more thing here. I might have to make an orange cap video today based on some emails, some comments. And this kind of is inspired by, I've got some very thoughtful, thinking subscribers. Merrill Jenkins, the guy who kind of found all this stuff out, did the heavy lifting. He had a theory called the 3 levels of thought. The very first level of thought is what we can perceive with our senses. Taste, touch, hear, eyes, smell. But he said then there was a second level of thought. It's a level of thought where I say a word and it conjures up an image in your mind, even though it's not real. Want an example? Santa Claus. Instantly, your mind conjures up the image, but we know there's no Santa Claus, or at least I hope we know that by now. Then there's that third level of thought, and I'm looking at the timer on this thing, and I'm running out of time again. Okay, third level of thought. The measurement. Describe for me what a couple of inches would look like. Describe for me what a gallon of gas, a gallon of milk would look like without the milk, without the plastic container it comes in. This is the higher level of thought, people, and this is the level of thought that they work us over on. It's not that we're stupid, but we're very ignorant. And there's a vast difference between stupidity and applied stupidity and ignorance. Ignorance simply means you don't know something. I am woefully ignorant on a number of topics, but I've got this one down to a science. I want to bring you along too. Look for my orange cap video. I really think I'm going to be making one sometime this afternoon. Thanks for subbing. Hey, another new subscriber, thank you. Please share these videos, and I will see you probably this afternoon in the orange cap, or for sure tomorrow in the black one. You guys have a good day. Thanks much.